Okay, so how often in a day do you think about breathing? Probably not super often, right? But it's insane the stuff you learn about air and breathing and techniques and meditation once you start falling down this fucking rabbit hole. So let's talk about it. Can we please? I figure, why not, right? Okay. So through this discovery of breathing, I've been writing my boyfriend about like how important it is to start changing our breathing techniques and how I was able to overcome a lot of stomach issues I was having, anxiety issues, tension throughout my body that I could feel I was carrying. Like, sounds weird, but the moment I got into Spirit Science, which is another channel on YouTube, and then learning from Dr. Robert Morse, ND, and people like Stellos Bernatucci Banucci. I can never remember his name. He's Greek. He's fascinating. But they talk about Fruitarianism and Breatharians, and these people who believe you can sustain and nourish life with just air that you breathe and sunlight. And I know it sounds nutty, but the more you look into it, it's really real. And when you take down to like an element level of what you're ingesting food-wise, I mean, when you eat meat, for you meat eaters, when you're eating that, your body can't break down protein. Literally, your teeth are there to grind up your food, and then through the digestion process and your esophagus, like taking it down into your stomach and all that, it's trying to break apart a living organism that's now dead carcass. Like, literally all you're doing when you eat meat is filling your stomach with dead carcass, and the stomach acid is trying to deteriorate it, which it can't, so it has to pass it through. Like, you're not getting as much nourishment from meat as you may think you are. I know that hurts. Growing up in America, we think otherwise, but that's true because your body can't handle protein. Wow, really? Okay. Your body can't handle protein, so it's breaking it down basically down into sugars. Because when you learn about the elements that your body needs to sustain life, there's 4 of them that make up 96% of your body, and we know that one is oxygen and another is hydrogen, but then there's nitrogen and carbon. And so when you're taking this stuff in, those 4 elements are basically sustaining almost your entire body. That's crazy. So essentially, people into breatharianism are saying that when you breathe, the carbon you're receiving from the air is the same that your body's going to get out of the nourishment from an apple. And then when you start to think about it, when you eat fruit and veggies, which is like the best diet that a human can be on for ingesting food, when you stick to a vegetarian, vegan, fruitarian lifestyle, when you do the most that you can there, it's great for you. However you think about it, you're still eating a living thing. A living thing had to sacrifice to produce nourishment for you. And that's not why we're here. And I know, again, sounds super hippie, but it's just I'm having a free flow of consciousness right now. Hold with me. But basically, when you're breaking down the food internally, it's pulling apart those essential elements that you need. So like the carbon from an apple would be the same carbon you're getting from air, but because you'd be getting it from air, you aren't taking life from something. And I think that's what the compassion and living in harmony that Buddhists seek for and spend lifetimes in meditation states, and they're able to expand their frontal lobe in their brain so much so that when they concentrate on consciousness, they're like the only people known to scientists on this planet that can light up their full frontal lobe just by thinking of consciousness or happiness. Like, they're training their mind to control feeling rather than feeling control thought. Like, it's super nutty, and I'm not explaining this very well, and it's probably going off track to you if you don't really know much about these subjects, but for real, all I'm trying to say is these breatharians have learned that just by controlling breath, meditating, and concentrating on the air you're taking in, you are feeding and nourishing your body. And then they also are aware that when you learn how to control your breath, you're no longer living a life of shallow breathing, which is what most of us on Earth do. We walk around mindlessly breathing. We don't think about the air we're taking in. We don't nourish our bodies with it. We passively do it. So I was watching TED Talks recently where they're talking about your voice being your instrument and how it's your body's only instrument that you control. Like, if you think about it, every organ in your body works without you wanting it to or not. Your heart is going to pump blood through your body whether you think it or not. Your brain is going to work whether you think about it or not. It's going to send synapses, and it's all energy and connections. Same with your circulatory system and stuff like that. These things work without you needing to do it. Something's operating at some higher level of consciousness or love or whatever you want to think is running your body. A funny sidetrack thought is that doctors in Western medicine can't explain what starts the heartbeat. They can talk to you about what keeps a heart beating, but that initial pump, that spark for a heartbeat to begin, they don't know what causes that, and that's the thymus and the heart chakra, and it's all energy. Our bodies are computers, and they're just machines built to have sensory pleasures and like expand our reality based on what we're perceiving as real throughout being in existence on this 3D realm. Oh my god, this video is sounding insane, and I would not even advise some of my friends and family to listen to it. I don't mean to get this sidetracked. I'm just having a really hard time staying focused. But listening to these TED Talks where they're talking about your voice being your instrument and the only one you control, and then talking about how air that you take in is spirit. It's the only thing you control. So air is literally your spirit, okay? So like your soul is fed through breathing. And what is fascinating, and you can start to experiment, if all else fails and the only thing you walk away from this video, because it is a mind fuck, if the only thing you walk away from is this, let it be that you can completely overcome anxiety and the stress of everyday life, no matter your problem, whether it's financial or family, relationship, medical, whatever you're going through. I guarantee you, if you can relax your mind by focusing on your breath, the moment you start to think about breathing, your mind clears because your ego shuts off, because you are now in control of your consciousness. And the moment you start to do that more and more throughout your day, while you're sitting at work, while you're driving in traffic, whatever you're doing, pay attention to your breathing. Take it in through your nose. Try to keep your mouth shut, because it's really supposed to happen through your nose. There's a reason when you breathe in, it's down below as you take oxygen in, and then when you breathe out, you can feel the air is rising above. It's kind of like heat versus cool, or like that, gas in a fire. Like, your body is built to know how to operate without you thinking. Like, the air coming in is not going to obstruct the air going out. Your body's brilliant. Like, for real, start appreciating who you are. Stop fucking worrying about looks and magazines and all of, society's bullshit. That's not real. Start focusing on, like, how you can control your own stress levels and anxiety without pills. I mean, the moment I started realizing, like, just breathing can take you out of an anxious situation and the chaos that surrounds you, and you can mellow your mind. Like, you can overcome so much. It's really one of the biggest tools to overcoming ego and to really becoming, more thoughtful of who you are as a person. I totally get that this sounds super hippy-dippy, but this breathing technique, it's really, really important. And we live in a time where we are all stressed. Like, nobody can deal right now. I don't have a single person that I know that is just content and happy. Even the people that are experiencing blissful periods in their lives, they're going on this roller coaster ride of emotions they can't control, and it's because we're not stepping back and attacking the problem where it starts, which is us breathing and being conscious of one another and loving rather than living in fear. And that's really all I wanted to get out here. I'm sorry for this jumbled mess of a video. It's just really cool learning all of this stuff from various sources and letting this information come through me and just allowing myself to digest it. Do I tell you to believe it? No. Investigate. Learn as much as you want to about it. But I encourage you to learn about it because I think it's fascinating. And I think if we focused more on these things that would really help us advance humanity, we wouldn't challenge each other so much. I really just feel like we live in this state of ego-driven, narcissistic self-detriment, and we're just not happy with ourselves, so we're pushing it onto everybody else, and everybody's offended by everybody's everything, and it's like, enough. Like, we need to calm down. But it's really cool learning that just breathing can help you tap into your subconsciousness, and that's important, whether you want to think it is or not. I mean, I get that there's more fun things to focus on in the world, but it's really cool learning that breathing techniques have more to do with than you think. Like, it's nuts. It's nutty. Anyway, enough. I do understand we cannot all be Buddhists. We can appreciate their lifestyle, right? But seriously, just focus more. Focus more on breathing. Maybe once or twice a day. Try to think about it. Calm yourself down. Take care of yourself. For real, there are so many stresses. I'm not the only one, right? Okay. Anyway, have a good rest of your day, and peace out.